Hare Krishna, my name is Isvara. Today we'll try to touch on the topic of Ramayana and Mahabharat. Now, many of the stories in both the Ramayana and Mahabharat, they are in some cases beyond our imagination. And for ordinary faithless people, they consider this, when they hear or being told about this story, then they consider it to be a myth, mythological, just a story. Now, let's go into a debate as to how are we to accept whether this is mythological or not. So if you're saying to me that it is mythological, then you're telling me that you're not accepting the authority based on the statements of these Mahabharat and the Ramayana. So you're not accepting this authority. Therefore, you're saying to me that you is an authority, that you know that it is a myth, because you were there throughout the past and you're here in the present. So you know that it is a myth. So my question to you is, are you an authority to prove to me that it is a myth? Obviously you will say, no, I just accept it is a myth. It's just a story. So then, first of all, since you're not an authority, then what you're saying is a myth. It is not that the stories is a myth, it's what you're saying is a myth. You're saying is a story. It is not a story. It is factual. So, what is the basis of me accepting that it is factual? So the basis of me accepting that it is factual is, first of all, I will present to you as how I will interrogate, first of all, the authority of the scriptures. Who is the authorities that presented this story that is Ramayana and Mahabharat? Ramayana is being presented by the great sage Valmiki. And Mahabharat is being presented by the great sage Srila Vyasadeva. So now, who are these personalities? These personalities, in other words, when people has to hear about this, their conclusion is that this person you're speaking about is just an ordinary man. So, when we see a magician appearing and disappearing things before our eyes, is he an ordinary man? No, he's not an ordinary man. If he was an ordinary man, then you could have done the same thing too. But you cannot. So, who are these authorities? Both Valmiki and the great sage Srila Vyasadeva. These personalities, they are free from the four defects of ordinary people. Ordinary people, they have four defects. They are subject to illusion. That is, they see one thing and takes it for another. They're subject to illusion. They are prone to cheat others or to be cheated by others. They have imperfect senses. And there is one more. I'll bring it up together later. And then there's another factor about these great souls, is that they has this vision that can see present, past, and future. They can see in the present, the past, and the future. So, now if we examine ourselves, we will see that in ourselves, our senses are imperfect. So we don't meet that criteria. We would cheat others even for a rupee or a penny. And we will be cheated by others for the same thing. And we are subjected to illusion. We make mistakes all the time, every day. But these great personalities, they are not impelled by these defects. So they're not like us. And since they have the ability to see present, past, and future, so we may want to conclude that since I cannot see present, past, and future, I don't accept that they can see present, past, and future. But you can't see within your own body, but you go to a doctor and you make a complaint, but you accept on the authority of the doctor that you have a certain type of disease and therefore required to use a certain prescription. So you have to accept an authority. So similarly, these great personalities, they are not subjected to the mistakes that these doctors are subjected to, because these doctors, they have imperfect senses. They make mistakes. They diagnose wrong medicine. And people get sick from using medications. So, on the basis of this, we have to understand, first of all, since the authorities has this spotless character, then whatever they're presenting is also spotless. It is the truth. And it is not a story. And why would they have the time to go and fabricate a story? Why would they have the time? They are not like ordinary authors. In the material world, we see ordinary authors. They present books. They write so many books. But what is the ultimate aim? The ultimate aim is their livelihood. That's why they present these books. That's why they go on writing. To make a livelihood, to have a source of income, so that they can live comfortably, so that they can satisfy their senses. But in the case of these authors, they did not present the Ramayana or the Mahabharat simply to make a livelihood. So because they are these types of authority, and because this scripture is being presented on this basis, then we have to accept it 100% as the absolute truth. Although we may not be able to conceive how some of these things are possible. That's whose fault? That is your fault, because you were not living in that future time. You're living in this present time where things are so much completely different from the past. Hare Krishna.